Mr. Smart divides the concept of paying yourself first into two parts. Firstly, set aside a sizable portion of your monthly income and spend only what is left. Secondly, buy assets that generate money without your personal presence and efforts. Stocks, bonds, and housing units which generate rental income are examples of such assets which make passive income for you. Many personal finance experts do not give the essential importance to this second part of paying yourself first. For them, savings are an end in itself. You may keep your savings in a separate bank account till you have saved enough money to buy income-producing assets. But Mr. Smart would never recommend you to keep your savings in a savings account forever, which can barely beat inflation. Your money will rot in a bank. You should rather invest your money in your financial learning and training. You should invest money in real estate, stocks or bonds, after due diligence and necessary training and experience. A brave but wise investor neither becomes a Chicken Little who is afraid of even an iota of risk, nor makes a blind investment. He rather manages risk creatively. And the ability to identify and manage risk creatively develops after experience, failures, and hardships. So, your friend, Mr. Smart, advises you to start investing early in life and increase your portfolio of income-generating assets gradually. Now, it is pertinent to ask how much an ambitious person who is currently entrapped in the rat race should save every month. It varies from one individual to another. It can be difficult for one individual to save even 5% of his monthly income, while the other may save a substantial portion of his income every month. Here, Mr. Smart needs to highlight that paying yourself first is entirely different from spending on you first. Paying yourself first means to set aside a portion of your monthly income before spending on anything, including your very basic necessities. If your income is barely enough to meet your living expense, then take a leap further by seeking a second job. Mr. Smart admits that it's easier said than done, but you don't have any choice if your target is financial freedom. So get the second job and save all the additional income to buy passive income-producing assets. Repeat this cycle over and over again. In a few years, you will not only free yourself from the rat race, but also seek financial freedom. Make money without working? Is it real? Yes, it is very much possible, but it needs financial intelligence, guts, and experience. Mr. Smart is your companion in your journey to seek this financial freedom and success. In the first 2 episodes of this series, Mr. Smart has explored the causes, extent, and remedies of poverty. He has also demonstrated how to pay yourself first and what to do with your savings rather than rotting them in bank accounts. Now, let us learn from Mr. Smart to make money without working. You limit yourself when you work for money. So there's no point to work for money if you don't like to work that way. You should rather make money work for you. But what does it mean to make money work for you? It means to invest money in assets which produce passive income without your presence. Traditional education institutions teach us how to work for money by becoming an efficient employee. Contrarily, financially intelligent people prefer to learn how to make money work for them. However, there are always big challenges in learning to make money work for us. It is not an overnight process. Yes, it is a complete process, which may stretch over years. The first step in this journey to financial freedom is paying yourself first, the way Mr. Smart elaborated it in the last episode. A link to this episode is given in the description. Paying yourself first and increasing your financial literacy should go hand in hand. Mr. Smart will discuss financial literacy in detail in the next episode. Also, start buying income-generating assets after due diligence in a gradual way. Mr. Smart knows that you will fall on the ground many times in this process, but it is a part of this money game. Failures and hardships make a seasoned and experienced investor. Ultimately, you will achieve 3 targets: financial literacy, experience, and a handsome portfolio of passive income-producing assets. That is the point when you will not need to work for money. Rather, money will work for you. Your rental apartments, commercial buildings, farmland, stocks, commodities, or bonds will make you money. so you will be making money without working. But this does not mean that you will not have to take care of your assets. You will need to be as vigilant as a shepherd who guards a herd of sheep. You would need to maintain your rental apartments and commercial buildings. You would also track the performance of stocks you keep. But you will not be working for money. You will be taking care of assets which produce money for you. Mr. Smart will love to see you attaining this financial freedom and success. Another important step to make money work for you efficiently is to get out of the trap of fear and greed. It is the fear of losing money and the greed of making more money. Fear of losing money will paralyze you when you come across a superb financial deal, while the greed of more money will entrap you in a transaction which promises you unrealistically high gains. Now, let us answer this question. What is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to make smart financial decisions which result into desired financial outcomes. It is not about knowing the stats and complex financial concepts. It is simply the ability to make right financial decisions in personal finance. It is quite possible that a college dropout is more financially literate and successful than a PhD or MBA. In fact, educational institutions focus only on scholastic and professional training. They do not teach about money and finances. That is the reason why so many brilliant physicians, engineers, accountants, lawyers, artists, and civil servants struggle in their financial life. They know how to earn money, but they don't know how to manage money well. Schools and colleges train kids to be hardworking and diligent employees who follow rules and procedures. So the financial training is entirely left to parents. Or the cold, practical world teaches the basic lessons of money in a hard way. Why not start educating yourself about money matters and learn these skills in a soft way? Otherwise, the rich will continue to get richer and the poor poorer. The rich will surely teach their kids the financial matters themselves, while the poor kids will never learn these lessons. Let us exercise our mind to grow it like a bodybuilder exercises his muscles in a gym. Some people misunderstand that money is wealth. But money may come and go. The only sustainable wealth is financial education, experience, and training. This wealth will never leave you. If you go broke sometime in your life and lose all your money, you can acquire even more money by your financial education, acumen, and training. That is your real wealth. Concept of assets and liabilities is a cornerstone of financial education and literacy. It is a necessity to understand an income statement and balance sheet to fully grasp the concept of assets and liabilities. Income statements show earnings and expenses over a period of time, such as a month or a year. Balance sheets must balance assets on one hand and liabilities plus equity on the other hand at a point in time. Here, an asset in the balance sheet will produce income which is recorded in the income statement, while a liability in the balance sheet will create an expense which is again recorded in the income statement. Your target should be buying income-creating assets. Your house in which you are living is not an income-producing asset. If you have availed a loan from the bank to buy this house, you will pay a mortgage to the bank every month. Even if you've bought your house without any loan, your house will incur expense to maintain it. Only a house which is producing rental income is an income-producing asset. It is certainly good to own the house in which you are living, but it is even better to own a house which is producing passive income for you. Knowing the difference between assets and liabilities is one of the important concepts which make you financially literate. There are many other concepts like budgeting, savings, insurance, and debt, which you should properly understand to make smart financial decisions. Mr. Smart will make a complete series of animated lessons for you about financial literacy. Once it is uploaded, its link will be given in the description. Do you want to become wealthy? If yes, you should simply mind your own business. But what does it mean to mind your own business in personal finance? Minding your own business means to buy assets which create passive income for you without your personal presence and efforts. You can be an attorney, banker, engineer, or physician by profession, but you should mind your own business as well. The poor and middle class are conservative financially. They seek jobs and play safe because there is no depth in their asset column as compared to their liabilities. Consequently, they cannot take calculated risk. If they ever lose their job, their mortgaged house and car start to eat them alive. These mortgaged houses and cars are in essence a liability, not an asset. So the only way out of this rat race of get up, go for job, and pay bills is to buy assets which produce passive income producing real estate, stocks, commodities, and bonds are examples of such assets. Here is a world of advice especially for youngsters. You should firstly understand the difference between asset and liability. In the simplest and most effective words, assets produce income while liabilities increase your expenses. Mr. Smart has a complete video for you about asset and liability. Its link is given in the description below. Secondly, you should start minding your own business before it is too late. You should build your asset column before getting married, having kids, and buying a house. Otherwise, you would get entrapped in the rat race of get up, go for job, and pay bills. It is certainly good to have a high-paying job with good perks and privileges provided you are minding your own business by buying assets which make passive income for you. In fact, a high-paying job should enable you to pay yourself first and set aside a reasonable portion of monthly income to buy income-generating assets. That is the only way to keep the rat race away from you. Here you should be careful. Don't buy luxuries like expensive cars first. Rather, you should buy real assets which produce income which can in turn buy you luxuries. In this way, a high-paying job and income-producing assets will lead you to financial freedom. Go and lay the foundation of your own company only if you really want to own and run your own company along with the associated grind and hardships. The percentage of successful companies is painfully low. If you still want to own your company, don't hesitate to take a calculated risk. Otherwise, keep your high-paying job and mind your own business. Now, thanks for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button below. Don't hesitate if you have any question about personal finance. Moreover, let us know of which personal finance book you want reviewed next. Mr. Smart would love your questions and suggestions. Subscribe to your very own YouTube channel, Mr. Smart, and hit the bell button for notifications. It's totally free. Dear viewers, this animated review series is not a substitute of the original book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which Robert Kiyosaki has written like a story based on his own life. This book is the best-selling personal finance book of all times, with around 30 million copies sold in more than 100 countries. This book is translated in more than 50 languages. This book is a must-read for aspiring entrepreneurs who are currently entrapped in the rat race of get up, go to a job, and pay bills. Mr. Smart highly recommends you to thoroughly read this book. British philosopher and statesman Francis Bacon once said, "Some books should be tasted, some devoured, but only a few should be chewed and digested thoroughly." Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one such phenomenal book which should be chewed and digested. You can find the link in the description for the audio version as well as the hard copy of this book.